Hello everyone. So this is me and my daughter. What's your name?
Scotland.
My daughter Scotland, and we are up bright-eyed and bushy-tailed over at our cabin. So this is our river cabin behind us. It's on the Capon River in West Virginia. River's about 200 feet that way. We have a little beach and all that good stuff. It was my grandparents' cabin. It was sold out of our family in 2002, and then my wife and I and the kids bought it back last year. So how special was that? So this cabin's the reason my family moved to West Virginia from Northern Virginia, but that's not why you're here. So today we are making apple butter. My whole family's coming over. It's gonna be a big old shindig. So I'm gonna do a video of the process. This is our first time making it. Now we live in Berkeley Springs, West Virginia, home of the Apple Butter Festival, where tens of thousands of people come up on Columbus Day weekend, but it's been canceled the past 2 years due to COVID. So I was fortunate enough to buy one of these old antique copper apple butter kettles, which if you can find them, they're anywhere from $800 to $1,000 or more. You can make a lot of pennies out of these things. I think I paid $200 for this and the paddle. So I'm going to show you the process and what we are doing. Again, we don't really have a clue, although I've been around making apple butter my whole entire life. I've never done it myself. I've helped one time. So it should be a pretty interesting process throughout the day. All I know is I've been up since 7:30 getting everything ready, getting the fire ready, because it is a 8 to 10 hour or more process making as much apple butter as we're making. So we started out with 5 bushels of apples. Mixed, what apples do we have, Scotland?
The Golden Delicious, and I don't know the other one.
Golden Delicious and Red Delicious, I don't know, but it's the proper mixture. The apple butter recipe that I'm using was on the Washington Post, but ironically enough, it's from Berkeley Springs for the Apple Butter Festival, so it's what our locals do. I have the recipe that was on there. It was 10 bushels. We're not making that much. We're doing 5 bushels of apples, 25 pounds of sugar, 2 gallons of apple cider, cinnamon oil, and the rest of the stuff we'll add in over time. So I'll show you some parts of the process. Stay tuned. So Scotland, what are you doing?
I am stirring the apple butter constantly.
Yeah, so I think it got down into the high 20s last night over here. So it's not necessarily warm right now. So this is an old antique copper apple butter kettle, or just a copper kettle. You can make a bunch of different stuff in it. So you know, the copper is what they've always used, and these things are, you can just look at it and see how ancient this thing. Hold up the paddle, the stir. So this is the original paddle for this thing. I would venture to guess the kettle and that, you know, stir are pushing 100 plus years old. I don't know necessarily the history of it, but I know this is a well-seasoned kettle. So, you know, that you have a fire underneath of it. I got it sitting up on some rocks, and you just keep it filled with wood. Keep the fire going all day, 8-10 hours, and you just stir constantly. So inside, you can't really see. It smells like heaven though right now, but you can see some of the pieces. So the rest of the fam is up inside, you know, doing more apples. So here we have a couple bushels of apples already done, and the rest of them are inside. So let's go inside and see how these clowns are making out. And we got a bunch of more apples there. And then I also, in case that old stir breaks, I made one last night with some wood that I had laying around. It's not perfect, but it's gonna work. It's sturdy. It's got 2.5-inch screws in it, so it'll work. All right, so in here, there's my wife, and here's the kids. Coring apples, slicing apples, peeling apples. This is a process. We did it for 3 hours last night. We still got a bunch more to go. So stay tuned. I'll keep everybody updated as we move throughout the day through the steps. So this is Scotty P. We're still stirring, about, I don't know, 3 hours into it. We got a lot of good stuff in here. Okay. So we have been listening to music, stirring. Dodger the pup, boxer puppy. He's out here now. But it is, we're getting some sauciness in there. So again, we got 5 bushels of apples, a gallon and a half of apple cider. We don't have all 5 bushels in there yet. They're still being peeled and added as we go, but you can see the process is working. Constantly stirring so they don't get, so it doesn't get burnt on the bottom. Have a nice little flame going under here, and it is working. Look at that, isn't that cool? It's a fun process. Stay tuned. What do you have to say, Scotland?
It's pretty fun, but it's also pretty hard to keep doing them.
So the apple butter has been going now for, oh, fancy like, has been going for just over 3 hours, I believe. My mother's here. My wife sitting down, pregnant as can be. But yes, we are getting to the point where everything is, it's getting there. It looks like we're making witch's brew, but I guarantee you that is really apple butter in there. It's starting to simmer and all that good stuff. Fire's a little too hot, so I'm trying to get the fire to calm down a little bit. But that's it. Stay tuned. Okay, so now everybody else is here. There's like a pile of people now. Niece, nephews, co-workers, everybody. Skylar with vampire teeth. Okay, so we are at the point now where it's actually starting to look like apple butter. Again, from no idea what I'm doing.
The gallon of it that's left out of all the
Well, it looks like it's turning out okay. And it tastes amazing. So 5 bushels of apples, gallon and a half of apple cider, 26 pounds, 25 pounds of sugar, 2 ounces of cinnamon extract oil. And a partridge in a pear tree. So the other stir was on its last leg and we got it out of there before it broke. So I made this one last night and it's working. It's got a little handle on it. So this is like part 5 of the videos, but you can see it's now actually starting to look like apple butter, and it tastes freaking amazing. So